It's time for week 15, and it starts with Thursday night football between the Rams and the 49ers. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back to talk some more NFL. It is already week 15. Where is the time going? That's for sure. But we got an NFC West showdown between two teams that are behind in the division to America's team, to my Seattle Seahawks. That's right. Monday Night Football is a disaster. We're going to go over that recap in just a little bit, even though I don't want to at all. It was ugly. But quick reminder, NBA Best Bets video will be out after this for the Thursday slate of games. Another small slate, but we still got some winners, hopefully, in the NBA. But before we get started, we got Outlier. You guys know all about it. Any graphics you see in this video or future videos are from an app called Outlier, the best player prop research tool on the market. I use it every single day. If you want to give it a shot, click that link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial. But let's get right into it. And that means it's time for a dad joke. That's right. That's where we're going here. What do you call a large person who never tells the truth in Louisiana? A jambalaya. You can't be mad at me if you don't like it. I got that from Drew Brees. That's right. Not personally. I don't know him, but that'd be cool. In this video, we're going to recap Monday Night Football. I don't want to, but then we're going to preview and give our best bets. I got two of them for the Rams at the 49ers, and we'll wrap it all up with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. It really helps this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Come join this incredible community we have. And again, the Discord link is below. Completely free. We talk sports every single day, and we sweat out these bets late into the night every day, it seems like. So let's get it rolling, and that means it's recap time. All right, here it is, the debacle that was Monday Night Football. Cooper Rush over 230.5, didn't even hit 200. On the first drive, he looked amazing. He passed it all the way down the field. They scored. Cowboys team total over 20.5 was one of the most frustrating losses we've had because I saw one of the top 5 dumbest plays I've ever seen by an NFL player. They block a punt with 2 minutes to go, sitting at 20 points, which they were sitting at for quite a while. They blocked the punt. If they would have not touched it, they would have pretty much already been in Brandon Aubrey's field goal range to not only win the game, but to go over my team total, which obviously is more important. And a guy decides, I'm going to try to catch it off these weird hops with Bengals players all over him. And I don't even know what he would have accomplished there. And it went off of him. Bengals pick it up. They go win the game. You guys saw it. It was just unbelievable. T. Higgins, anytime touchdown. He thought the game was Tuesday and did not show up at all. Like literally at all. He did nothing. So that was a loss. Just one of those days. Luckily, 2 of them were just a half unit and a quarter unit, but still, it's been a season that I wanted better for sure. I mean, up 1.10 units on the season. It's just not good enough. So we're going to keep grinding. We're going to hopefully finish off this season on a hot streak heading into the playoffs. But that's the Monday Night Football recap. And now let's talk a little Thursday Night Football. All right, we're heading out to Santa Clara where the 49ers host the LA Rams. 49ers -3. Total in this one is 48.5. We're going to preview and give you some trends before we give out our 2 best bets. So quick trends. Favorites on Thursday Night Football are 38, 33, and 1 ATS, which is against the spread since 2021. Purdy, 10-4 straight up, 8-6 against the spread, and 14 night starts. How about that? 7-1 straight up and 5-3 ATS at home in night games. Dating back to last Christmas, Purdy is only 1-7 against the spread against teams above 500 on the season. That's just something to think about. Stafford, 4-7 ATS against the 49ers, 2-6 straight up in his last 8 starts. McVay started out 3-10 ATS. He struggled a lot against the Niners and Shanahan, but he now has covered in 3 straight games, all as underdogs. Rams beat the 49ers back in week 3, if you don't know, with a fourth quarter comeback. They didn't even have Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua in that game, and for what it's worth, the 49ers are 9-5 straight up when taking on a team that it lost to earlier in the season under Shanahan. Quite the trends, huh? Injuries, 49ers, Guerrero, the third string running back, is now questionable. It's not looking like he will play. They may be moving to their fourth string running back, which is Patrick Taylor, I believe. Left tackle, Trent Williams is questionable. I don't think he plays, but you never know. That's a huge one. And then Nick Bosa obviously is probably out again for the Rams, other than the 49ers. Rams, the biggest one that I really saw, DeMarcus Robinson, a receiver, questionable. But let's go over some red zone numbers, and then we'll get to our best bets because this is where a lot of games are won or lost. Rams tied for 13th offensively in the red zone. The 49ers, 31st in the red zone defensively. 49ers, 22nd in the red zone offensively. We've told you this all year. They have struggled in the red zone. They did not last week, that's for sure. But Rams have the 8th best red zone defense. So that's where they've actually played pretty well. One of the better red zone defenses in the league. So this is a big game, big playoff implications as they're chasing the Seattle Seahawks. That's right. I just have to keep fitting that in anywhere I can. But here we go. Bet number one. I don't usually do this type of bet. It's maybe like my third time this year. Give me Puka Nacua under 26.5 yards as his longest reception at minus 113 on FanDuel. It's going to be a half unit. I'm going to give you two half unit plays here. But like I said, I haven't played a lot of these. Some Nacua numbers, though, this year. As you can see by this outlier screenshot, he is under this line in 6 of 8 games so far. His ADOT this season is only 9.09. That's an average depth of every target. I just added every. Average depth of target, 9.09. 9 yards downfield on average is going to be tough to make a 27-plus yard catch. There's a lot more that goes into that. I know that. But his ADOT the last 3 weeks, how about only 6.6 yards down the field? It has not been pretty. He's averaging 13.11 yards per reception this season. He's a good yards after catch guy. That's just what he does. Averaging around 45 yards after the catch per game. And in the 2 plays that he went over, so he's gone over in 2 plays of this longest play, I went back to look at him. So one was a 37-yarder versus the Patriots. It was an 8 to 9 yard crossing route with busted coverage and nothing but open field in front of him. So it's not like, again, he was going deep down the field, but it was yards after catch, bad defense. Another one was a 29-yard play against the Eagles. On that one, it was actually 4th and 1, and the Eagles were kind of cheating up, and then all of a sudden they throw the ball, and he still caught it 10 yards down the field, and then he dragged a DB on his back before breaking his tackle and then kept running down the field even more. So, again, can these plays happen again? Absolutely. Puka Nacua is a good yards after catch guy, but I like my chances because he's not a guy you're just going to see a ton of bombs thrown to, not a ton of air yards and stuff like that. So 49ers defense is also a big reason why. Giving up the 3rd fewest passing yards per game, the 3rd fewest yards per reception in the NFL. And then as for the yards after catch, since their bye week, the 49ers have allowed the 3rd fewest yards after catch in the NFL. They tackle well. They smother the receiver after they catch it. You got to like to see that. Only 2 pass catchers have had a play of 27 or more yards the last 5 games, and one of them was a tight end in Dawson Knox. So that means only one wide receiver has had a big play against them recently. I love this play. I know it takes one busted coverage, one missed tackle, one anything, and it can completely ruin my day, but it's a half unit play. I like my chances based on these numbers and the matchup. So give me Puka under 26.5 yards for his longest reception as the first best bet. Second one, little alt line parlay. Here we go. George Kittle, 40-plus receiving yards. Kyren Williams, 60-plus rush yards. Put those together, you get minus 104 on FanDuel for a half unit. Let's start out with George Skittles, 40-plus receiving yards. As you can see by this outlier screenshot, he has 40-plus receiving yards in 10 of 11 games. Not a bad hit rate. And the only miss was in the snow. So that means every over or every game that's non-snow, he's gone over this. He's averaging 72.73 yards per game. Even better at home. As you can see with this screenshot, 40-plus receiving yards in all 6 home games, averaging 86.67 yards per game. More Kittle numbers, averaging 13.9 yards per reception. He gets the big plays. His reception line is set at 4.5 for him. I thought about maybe 4 receptions instead, but he should only need about 3 catches to get this. He makes the big plays. Like I said, he has one play, at least one play in every game of 31 or more yards in 5 of the last 6 games. And again, the only miss was that snow game in Buffalo. He has 28% of the team's air yard share, 167 last week. This guy is a big part of this offense. He also is another yards after catch guy, the 4th most yards after catch of all tight ends. Again, and even that with the 4th most, that's with him missing a game, playing one less game than those top guys. He's averaging 34.7 yards after catch per game. That's almost to the 40-yard mark just in yards after catch right there. But matchup, we've talked about earlier this year, the Rams have been a touch better maybe, but they're still struggling. They're 20th in receiving yards allowed to the tight end position. Tight ends recently against the Rams, combo of Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson had 10 catches for 73 yards. Hunter Henry, 6 for 63. Jonnu Smith, 3 for 45. They held Dallas Goedert down, but again, the Eagles' pass game is kind of non-existent right now. And Kittle's one of the best tight ends in the entire NFL. So give me Kittle. I just need 40. I don't think that's asking for much. He's already done it in 10 of 11, like I mentioned. Second leg, Kyren Williams, 60-plus rush yards. His original line is 72.5, and I see it still rising, and it's for a reason. But as you can see by this screenshot, Kyren has 60-plus rush yards in 11 straight games. That's right. After going under in week 1 and 2, he has now gone off in the last 11. So even with those first 2 bad weeks, averaging around 78 yards per game this season, he has 86 or more yards in 3 of the last 4. He's been the workhorse. I don't know what I'm saying. Workhorse for this team, averaging 19.3 rush attempts per game. I mean, he's getting near 20 rush attempts per game. Attempts line in this one is juiced to the over at 17.5. He's averaging 4.1 yards per attempt per game. If he just has 18 carries and 4 yards per carry, that gives him around 72 right there. And I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. Kyren Williams has the 7th most yards after contact of all running backs in the NFL. He has the 5th most before contact yards. That's a pretty good combo right there. But matchup, 49ers about middle of the pack in rush yards allowed to running backs this season. Earlier when they played, Kyren Williams 24 carries for 89 rush yards. And then recent running backs versus San Fran since their bye week. Well, Swift had 38 yards last week, but it was a complete and utter blowout from the beginning. James Cook, 107 rush yards on 14 carries. Josh Jacobs, 106 rush yards. Kenneth Walker, 54. Bucky Irving, 73. You get it. They give up some rush yards. Now we got a guy who could get 17 to 22 carries in that range. I expect him to have plenty enough volume to get 60 plus rush yards. This would be his 12th straight time doing it. So if you kind of look at if you just want to look at the hit rate for these two, Kittle has done this in 10 of 11 games. Only miss was the snow game. Kyren has done this in 11 of 13, including 11 straight games. So I like the usage for both guys. I like the matchups for both. Give me Skittles and K Will as my second best bet. And that's what we got for you for the Rams and 49ers. But before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. We start out with Puka Nacua under 26.5 yards for his longest receptions at minus 113 for a half unit. And then George Kittle, 40 plus receiving yards. Kyren Williams, 60 plus rush yards, minus 104 on FanDuel for another half unit. Again, I like both of those guys on the bet number 2 to go over their original line. So that's what we got for Thursday Night Football. Again, Thursday night will be our Week 15 Best Bets video. And then Friday night, of course, will be our best NFL player props and anytime touchdowns like usual. But thank you guys for the support as always. If you haven't already, hit that like button. I would appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.